Right, so let's look at the payment schedule. I think the key dates to think about in terms of payment are the 31st of January and the 31st of July. So these are the key dates, but we need to think about what's really going on here. So let's look at this. Let me start here with this 2019-2020 of 5,860. So what happened here was, because it says 2019 2020, and what that means is that in this period here, from the 6th of April 2019 to the 5th of April 2020, I could even assume that was the case. You made profits of 5860. So I could actually even pretend that your actual year end was 6th of April 19 to the 5th of April. It might be different, but the point is it's in this period in purple. Now, how it works is that the question is asking about what's happening in the question that asks us, tell us what the payment calendar is in 2021. So the way it now sort of works is we say, okay, in terms of what we pay in 2021, which is sort of coming into this period. So the key point almost is almost saying, I almost don't care what profits you're going to make in this period are, right? That's the first thing to say. So you're working away and you're making your profits. The first thing it's saying to you is that the way it does it is this: it says to you, look back at the last accounting period. That's the first thing. So take the profits that were made in the last accounting period and split that into two parts. So I'm going to take the 5860 and I'm going to split that into two equal parts. And when you do that, when you have 5860 divided by 2, you have 2,930. So it says that your payments for 2021, as in whatever your profits are going to be, I don't know yet. You will make the first payment on the you'll make your first payment on the 31st of on the 31st of January 2021, and you will make your next payment, which will cross in, if you like, into the next year on the 31st of July 2021. So you'll make two payments of 2930, 2930. Now, the reason why this is important is because if you come back here to the last day of this financial year 21, the last date that you can pay your taxes for the year ending 2021 is, of course, the 31st of January 2022. Yeah, so that's literally 9 months after the year end. That's hopefully you have that etched in your mind, that we pay our profits technically the 31st of January. Self-assessment. This is Dylan, he's a sole trader, so everything must end. But we don't, what they're sort of saying to you is, before you get there, I don't know what those profits are. I don't know. I could work out that by the end of this year that the profits are actually 6,000. So if they are 6,000, I'll just be paying the balance on the 31st of July. But so far, towards this tax for this profits that I don't know of what they will be in this financial period, I will pay the difference, right, on the 31st of January. But I don't know. So that's the key point. So as far as January 2001 and July 2021, I'm paying half. Now, the question I should also be asking was that in this period as well, what did I pay? Well, I paid whatever. I'm going to look back at the previous year, which was 4856. So I would have paid half. I would have done the same thing, 4856. I would have split that into two, and I would have paid this on the 31st of January 2020, and I'd have paid the other half on the 31st of July 2020, right? So I would have estimated, even though I now know what these profits are, fair enough, you'll see where that makes sense now. I will always look back at the previous year and halve those, paying them. Then what you then do, of course, when you now know what the actual profits are, which is what I do, well, I'll just pay the difference on the 31st of January 2021. So I will now say, well, 5860 is what the actual profits were for this 1920 period, and I've already paid an estimate of 4856, and so on the closing amount, remember this is 2020, and so the last day of payment will be the 31st of January 2021. So I will have 1004 as well being paid on the 31st. So this is almost like the balancing payment for the balancing payment of 1004, as well as the first payment, which is the 2930, and the second payment, which is 2930, as well. So hopefully, I should have used maybe different colors to expand that a little. The point that you always want to think about is this, that I won't know what my profits are or by the end of the year. So I always take the previous year, split that in two, pay in January, pay in July, and I pay whatever the closing balance is on my actual profits by the 31st of January of that year. But then on the 31st of January again, you're doing exactly the same thing again for the year in question, because you're looking back at the prior year. You're splitting that into two. You're making a first payment and then a second payment in July, and then you're closing out. So really, on the 31st of July 2022, whatever these profits are in 2021, I don't know what they are. I will subtract, imagine they're 6,000. I will subtract 5860 from that and pay that amount. I'm making this up, by the way, and pay this amount of, say, 140 on the 31st of June 2022. Right? Great stuff. So I hope that's helpful. So you should have figures that look like this: 1004, and then 2930 and 2930, right? In your boxes when you write that out. Cool, great stuff. And then let's just come out of here. Right. So yeah, so these are all let me just write those in there. So this is all 2021, 2021, 2021, 31st of Jan, 31 of Jan, 31 of July is 1004, 2930, 2930. So this is the first payment, second payment. This is the balancing payment. Balancing payment. And of course, this is taxable year 1920. Taxable year 1920, balancing payment 1819. Yes, right. And then finally, the question asks us to focus on limited companies, and with limited companies, we file 12 months. Yes, we always file 12 months after the accounting year. So this will take you to the 31st of March 2022. We pay our taxes, though, 9 months and 1 day after the year end. So in terms of when you should have paid your taxes, you'd have paid your taxes by the 1st of January 2022. But when you actually send in the return, you will send on the 31st of March, which typically means that most people will typically have filed by the 1st of January 2022 as well. Cool, awesome, great stuff.